Dear Jacqueline Wright. Right? Dear Jaguar. Right. Your message is getting lost in the mess. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody is telling you this, but I'm going to tell you. You might make a video and go ham and rant and do all of that stuff on me, but me, I don't give a damn. I don't care. I don't give a damn. Somebody got to tell you, because you're better than this. You are better than this. You can get your point across without doing all of that you're doing. You can get your point across without having to use all of the profane language. You can get your point across without being angry. You can get your point across without being bitter. You can get your point across without tearing anybody else down. You can get your point across. Come on. It's ways around this, sis. You got to think. You telling everybody else they got to think. You have to think. And you need to lead with love. Hello, universe. What's up? It's Brandy619. And first thing I'm going to say is, Dear Jacqueline Wright. Right? Dear Jaguar. Right. I've been watching. I've been checking you out for the past couple of days, and I've really been quite. Initially, it started out where I was pretty impressed, you know, at your courage. But the more I watched, the more that started to change. Okay. Before I dive in, I want to tell you that I think your music is amazing. I think that you have an amazing voice. I think that the way that you compose your lyrics and the way that you lay it out is absolutely phenomenal. I do want to tell you that what you have is raw and uncut, unfiltered, and I would love to see more of that. Okay? Now, I want to talk to you in a language that I believe you'll be able to understand. Okay? So, for starters, you can tell a tree by the fruit that it bears. All right. And so, although this tree that I'm seeing is beautiful, it's fruitful, it appears to have substance on the tree. Okay. But when I pick of the fruit and I bite into the fruit, oh man, this one, there's a worm in it. Can't eat that. Throw it by the wayside. I'll pick another one. Bite into it. Damn. It's rotten. It's rotten. It's rotten inside. It's rotten to the core. Okay. let me pick this one. Okay. You know, because you think, why let one apple spoil the bunch, you know? So let me pick this one. Then I'll bite into that one. And it is ripe with bitterness. I began to believe that this tree, with all this bountiful amount of fruit on it, has deceived me. It's deceiving me. It is not what it really appears to be. Okay? I need you to understand that I think initially coming into, you know, what you're doing, initially you had a vision, you had direction, you had a clear plan and a clear purpose. Somewhere along that way, things began to get muckied and muddled. And now at this point, it's become almost hard for you to see through all the mess. And it's becoming hard for us to see your purpose through all the mess. Okay? I think there are people that are watching. They are cheering you on. They are believing all of what you're saying, because we have eyes and we do see a lot of the, you know, of the things that are going on around us. We're able to see, a lot of us are able to see through the smoke and mirrors as well, you know. So we do believe, you know, that you are speaking a form of truth, and I'm thinking that the truth which you speak is your truth, but not always does your truth equate to the truth. Okay. Now, I've went through a lot of videos because I didn't want to. I was gonna make a video yesterday about your interviews that you had with Storm Monroe, you know, and they were entertaining, quite entertaining. You know, you seem to have some firsthand knowledge, or a form of firsthand knowledge about what's going on, or about what has been going on, or what has happened. But something that I noticed about you and the information that you had is that a lot of the information that you had, you hadn't really said anything that you seen firsthand with your own eyes. A lot of it seems to be what you heard or what someone told you, what you overheard somewhere when someone didn't know you were around or standing there, or that you were ear hustling, or whatever the case might be. And I really want to remind you and everybody else that's drinking the Kool-Aid is that you have to be mindful to, and I learned this in the streets, okay? Believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. All right? Now, with that being said, I really was going to just release it because I'm in control of what I receive and what I release, right? As are you, as are all of us. And as you grow up, when you know better, you do better, right? And so I was going to release, you know, initially it was entertaining, but it began to drain me. It literally began to drain my energy. And then I began to feel really badly for all of the other people's energies that are either being drained, or the people that are taking from your energy and moving through life with that same energy. Okay? Because energy never dies, it's just transformed. And so we have to be very careful what kind of energy it is that we allow into ourselves, and the kind of energy that we what's the word I'm looking for, that we give off to other people. So initially I was going to leave it alone. I was like, man, I'm not going to make this video. I ain't going to make this video. Because I felt like I'm not sure if it was a discrepancy in something that you were saying, but I thought that I heard you on some video, on the interview, and I thought it was Storms, where you were saying that, you know, you were at this club, or you was at some building someplace, you know, where all of the A-listers, all the people hung out at, and that you had to go to the bathroom, that you overheard personally Kim Porter and another woman talking about the tape that she had on Diddy, and that, you know, going ahead and writing that she was going to that she walked in and saw Andre and Diddy doing whatever they was doing, and that Andre bought her a new car and da-da-da-da-da, right? But I believe that I heard you say, and that wasn't the part that sparked my attention. It was where you said, I believe Storm said, oh, you were there? Or someone asked you, oh, you were there? And you said, yeah, I had went to the bathroom, and they didn't know I was in the bathroom, and I overheard this. I'm pretty sure that I heard this. But now that story that you tell, that you were in the bathroom and you overheard this in the bathroom, and they didn't know that you were there when they were discussing this. The lady, I'm actually subscribed to the lady's channel who was having the conversation with Kim Porter. And if you guys don't know, her channel's name is Hollywood. Okay, about a year ago, she actually touched on this topic, and the comments are disabled for that right there. But her channel doesn't get, I mean, it has traffic, but it is not as popular as one might think that it is, because she has a spiritual based channel. So a lot of her content is spiritually rooted, okay? And so I said, wow, well, was she really in that bathroom, and did you really overhear what they said? Or had you just happened to come across her saying that she had this conversation, and you figure, oh, I'm gonna say that I was there, and that I overheard it for myself, you know? And so that kind of like threw me off a little bit. And then so that's what made me kind of pay a little bit more attention to what you were saying. And I realized, wow, a lot of what she says is all secondhand or third-hand information. And then I began to say, well, wow, she just came out, you know, the other day and was outing P. Diddy, but in the process of that, you outed Chris Williams. In the process of that, you outed the young woman who was the one that actually saw it, allegedly, right? I know you don't like to use the word allegedly. And I said, wow, that's kind of reckless. So I began to see you become reckless as your intention is to bring someone else down. As if these other people are just casualties of war. And I didn't think that was fair, especially when I continue to watch you to speak highly of the Ascended Master, Yeshua, and you speak of, you know, being with your lady sisters, your sisters in Christ, I guess, and reading the word on the Sabbath, and cooking and healing, and have this healing circle, and you wanted to reach out and extend the invitation to what's the new young lady who was with London on the Track, Summer Bunny, or is that her name? Or no, it ain't Summer Bunny, Summer Walker. After you said that she had been touched and all different kinds of stuff, right? And And so you're saying that you want to extend this to her, for her to come down, or, you know, any other young lady that you guys got frequent flyer miles, you'll come to them, you know, and but then I watch you also tell someone that they got someone hooked on some drugs, and that you heard it from your cousin such and such, and I guess you decided to, you know, in the process of trying to tell on that other person, who was Charlie Mack or somebody, tell on that person, you threw your cousin under the bus. But you threw your cousin under the bus because you was mad at him because he didn't call you when your son passed away. And so it bothered me, because I said, wow, well, in the middle of her going through, and I understand how you may be upset, but did it ever dawn on her that maybe her cousin happened to be going through her, or maybe that was too much for the cousin to, you know, touch on in that moment? Or maybe your cousin thought that maybe that was a time where you may have needed some space and probably really didn't want to hear nobody's sorries or my condolences. You know, what I'm saying is, I want you to be careful in how you move forward, because your message is getting lost in the mess. If you are trying to bring real artistry and artists back into the music industry where they belong, you have to portray that. You have to be that. You cannot in turn become exactly what it is that you don't like about everybody else. Because even though you're looking and saying that all these other people are puppets in the circus and monkeys in the circus and dancing in the circus, you now have created a circus of your own where you are every act in the circus. You are every act in the circus. You're the ringmaster. You are the monkey, the dancing monkey. You are the clown. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that. I don't think that's who you are. I think that what that is pain. It is hurt. Instead of just saying I'm hurt, you've allowed for it to manifest inside of you, and it's turned into bitterness and wickedness. You at this point are not helping. You are hindering. Okay? In the process of trying to help other people have a voice, you've exposed them and hindered them. You have divulged their identities, and you have set them out to be devoured by the wolves. If at any time you have to say to a person, hey, and don't you better not harm that girl, as you was in the process of talking to Diddy about the lady that confided in you about what it was that she saw, if you have to say to a person, hey, and don't you harm that girl, that means that you believe that they have the propensity to do harm or to cause harm. So why would you in turn put your friend that confided in you in harm's way? You say that you kept this secret all this time, and then when you do decide to tell the secret, you tell it to the world? You gotta be kidding. You have to be kidding. It's time for you to go back, retreat, and come up with a new plan. Go back to the drawing board about how you plan to expose sex trafficking, how you plan to, because you can't just come and say, oh, I got this on you, I heard this from this person, I heard this from this person. You have to have some kind of solid proof, some kind of solid facts. You have to have something that you can take that's tangible, that you can take to somebody that can actually do something about it. Because if not, along with all the hurt and the bitterness and the pain that you're feeling from them not giving you credit and props where it was due, them not fully acknowledging your talents and your gifts and allowing for these talentless people to be seen as kings and queens of the music industry. In the process of all that, you're going on, you're ranting, you're raving, you're hollering, you're fussing, you're asking Alicia Keys, is she hurting yet? Is she hurt yet? And I'm wondering, is your throat hurting from all the hollering and the cigarettes that you smoking? I'm telling you, sis, you have some womb work to do before you jump out here, because it's got you all over the place. I don't think that you've fully taken into consideration. I know you keep saying, hey, I'm married, but I don't think you've truly taken into consideration how your husband is having to deal as you talk mad, crazy, and reckless to every man on the block. What kind of heat your husband may be having to take. What kind of position that puts him in. I mean, it's not just all about you. And as you call other people narcissists, I'm asking myself, have you watched your own videos? Have you watched your own interviews? Because you are absolutely coming across as a narcissist yourself. You want people to come out of the closet, but you gotta allow people to do that in their own time, when they ready. The same way the world allowed you to come out and tell your own truth when you were ready. But you only did it because you had a plan in mind to tear other people down. Have you thought that the things that these people that they've allowed to happen in their lives, in the ways that they've chosen to compromise themselves, may have something that stems from when they were a child? I didn't want this video to even be this long, bro, but what prompted me to actually go and make this was when I saw this morning, somebody had a video of you going off on Alicia Keys, and you had the nerve to tell her, you started telling her how she hurt some man, and then you dated him after that, but he wasn't, and he didn't, apparently, I guess he didn't want to be with you because you was in the industry because Alicia Keys hurt him. He a man, he a whole grown man. And he got the right to choose that. So if he didn't end up with you or want to be with you, that's because God has something else for you. And it wasn't him. But you tell Alicia Keys to stay in her lane. But you forgot that you was on the Storm Monroe show talking about how Alicia Keys didn't have no talent. Talking about how Summer Walker was singing, she sound great, but Alicia Keys come on there raspy and cracking and all kind of stuff, that she's not a lyrical genius just because she played the piano. You start talking about this lady. So if this lady did make a post or say something to you, I feel like she had every right to. So why are you mad about it? That was what you was going for. That's what you was chasing. You wanted somebody to say something to you, right? So somebody finally built up the courage to say something or make a post or sub you, and you got mad about it. So she in her lane. You pulled up in her lane. You pulled up in her lane. She is in her lane. You know, find your lane. This cannot be your life day in and day out. Because people that don't know about you or don't know how great and how talented of a person you are missing all of that. They like, look at her. She like foaming at the mouth, spitting and smoking and talking loud and look at her. You are not. You're looking like you're looking foolish. Okay? And I don't think that that's the look that you're going for. You need a team that is willing to help you achieve what you're trying to achieve. And just by, that's not the way. That's not the way. Because you will have to be accountable for every idle word that comes from your mouth. Every tittle, every dot, you'll be accountable for that. Just because one does you some wrong doesn't mean that it's allowed for you to repay that in the same manner. These people are not about to come out here and try to do and sue you. Sue you for what? You appear to be someone at this point who has nothing. Why would anybody want to fight with anyone who don't have nothing to lose? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Everybody got some kind of skeleton in their closet. Everybody got something that they've done that they're not the proudest of. Everybody. But you ain't got no heaven or no hell to put them in. You sat and talked about how, your husband, and all of this kind of stuff, but in the same breath, you want to know what Lunel Mouth do. You got to choose today which master you gonna serve. Do you want to fight against sex trafficking? Do you want to bring the artist back to the music? Do you want to be a superstar? Well, you've blown that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even sure if anybody is going to want to come and sit at the table with you and discuss or share anything with you, because they don't know if at any given moment they upset you, you going to go out there and start running your mouth. What you've shown is that you're not trustworthy, is that you cannot be trusted, and that you cannot keep a secret, and that you will not tell anybody else something that somebody don't want you to know. It's misfiring. It's backfiring. You want to come across as this loyal person, but we're seeing the opposite of all of that. Somebody who, you want to go so hard for your family, for your friends, yo. But in the process, you dragging them through the dirt. You dragging them. It's not making sense. It's not adding up. It's not lining up. I want you to stop. Just stop. Give it a break. Go back to the drawing board and come up with a different plan on how you're going to accomplish your goals without looking crazy. Because it's starting to look like you have a chemical imbalance. It's starting to look like you are a little bipolar. It's starting to look like if you're not on medication, you might need some. You need to go back and do some womb work, sis. You need to go deep. You need to go to the child, to the hurt little girl inside of you that was hurt well before you ever got into the industry. You need to go to the generational and ancestral curses. You need to get deep, sis. And your man, your husband, should be telling you that. Your man should be covering you. It's almost looking, and I really don't like this term. I really don't like this term because I feel like men also can have this spirit on them. But you know, when we talk about the Jezebel spirit, but see, her husband didn't stand up. He didn't come and stand up. He didn't step up to the plate and take his rightful place. And I'm almost seeing that mirror image in what you got going on. What I'm seeing is that you have lost. You actually, yeah, it's almost feeling like you don't have anything to lose. It's almost as if you've lost your peace. You're losing your joy. You're losing your mind. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody is telling you this, but I'm going to tell you. You might make a video and go ham and rant and do all of that stuff on me, but me, I don't give a damn. I don't care. I don't give a damn. Somebody got to tell you, because you're better than this. You are better than this. You can get your point across without doing all of that you're doing. You can get your point across without having to use all of the profane language. You can get your point across without being angry. You can get your point across without being bitter. You can get your point across without tearing anybody else down. You can get your point across. Come on. It's ways around this, sis. You got to think. You telling everybody else they got to think. You have to think. And you need to lead with love. It's almost like you forgot about love. You can have a world rallying with you right now. But you starting to look like the offender. You starting to look like the opposition. You got the opposition looking like you got them looking like they the victims now. You got who you call the victimizers looking like the victims now. Come on, Jag. You gotta do better, sis. You got to. They just sitting there Beyonceing you, not saying nothing, letting you look like the circus act. And everybody in this social media circle is sitting around rallying you on and egging you on, and they don't give a damn about you. When you gone, they gonna move right on to the next person and get up in their business and stir them up and puppet them the same way they puppeting you. Do better.